The president has challenged African legislatures to enact laws that will empower and enhance the living conditions of people that they represent. While receiving a briefing from the Senate leader, Victor Ndoma Egba, on the Africa Legislative Summit, built to hold in Abuja from November 10th to the 13th, President Goodluck Jonathan noted that the legislative process will only become meaningful to Africans when it addresses their needs and aspirations. On his part, chairman of the committee, Nadu Karibo, described as incorrect the impression that the House is always at loggerheads with the executive.
Nigeria is that most of us, the impression is that if you don't quarrel with the executive, you are not oversighting, you are not doing your work well. So, and any little disagreement, any little misunderstanding between both arms, which is very, very usual in politics, it is often overblown. It is not out of place for the House of Representatives to do investigations, to ask questions when necessary. Otherwise, the relationship between the executive and the legislature is very, very cordial. Like I told you, you can see us, we are here oversighting the State House. That should be a parameter for you to see that the relationship is not as bad as people think.
To politics now. The All Progressives Congress, the APC candidate in the Anambra governorship election, Dr. Chris Ngige, has taken his campaign to indigents at the Ladipo International Markets in Lagos Trade Fair Center. In a separate address to the group, said Dr. Ngige promised to continue the transformation he started in Anambra State as governor. He had flagged off his campaign earlier this week.
Excited traders at Ladipo Market assembled to welcome Dr. Chris Ngige. Their business has to wait as they consider this an important event. For Dr. Ngige, leaders are born, not made. So as a man who has been governor before in Anambra, it's about continuing the good work.
There were no roads in the whole of the southeast. Immediately I came, I told my fellow governors, they were on the second term. I told them that we must do what we call regional cooperation to open up our place. By that, every state government is to build road from the state capital to the border of the next state. He's a trained medical doctor for almost 40 years standing. This man was in the federal civil service for almost 35 years and retired. This man has been a governor. He's currently a senator. It is this man that opened our eyes for a number of people to know that there is more in governance.
He also tells his brothers at the International Trade Fair Center, Lagos, that they all must leave their businesses and return home to vote in a new government in Anambra State. Dr. Ngige is confident he has won the hearts of these traders. What remains to be seen is if indeed they'll return home to perform their civic responsibility.
Meanwhile, his opponent, Ifeanyi is in the meantime helping out the Nigeria police with the building of 5 transit camps for officers of the force by the Ifeanyi Foundation. The foundation has also undertaken to renovate detention cells at the police headquarters in the state. This was made known by the foundation's chairman, Mr. Ifeanyi, who explained that the projects will be executed under the watchful eye of the newly inaugurated police stakeholders and would be completed in 6 months.
The first contract, and this is the second contract. Congratulations. Thank you. In line with President Jonathan Goodluck's transformation agenda and our belief in touching lives, and in appreciation to the good work Nigerian police has been doing in Anambra State, most recently in combating crime, I sincerely believe that we have to support Nigerian police. On behalf of Ifeanyi Foundation, we are today awarding contract in remodeling the Anambra Police Command and Detention Cells, and the second is building 5 transit camps and 5 police divisional headquarters of Anambra State.
We're still in Anambra State, where the government has begun the distribution of 500 brand new buses to secondary schools across the state under the Millennium Development Goals Scheme in Education. At the Alex Okweme Square in Oka, the special advisor to the president on MDGs, Precious Gbenol, while commissioning the buses, commended the government of Anambra under Peter Obi for its commitment to achieving the Millennium Development Goals in all sectors.
500 buses on display here at the Alex Okweme Square for onward distribution to secondary schools in the state, both public and private. It's part of the efforts to ensure convenient learning and teaching environment in post-primary institutions. The special advisor to the president commissioned the vehicles.
If every state government does what I'm seeing today, Nigeria will be placed on the map of the world.
The state governor affirmed his resolve to continue doing the needful in this and every other sector.
Our commitment is total. You will see for yourself what is going to happen in this state. I keep saying it, before the end of this year.
Mrs. Precious Gbenol was taken around the state on an inspection tour of the MDG project, which included the health facilities at Our Lady of Lords, Ihiala, and Iyenu Mission Hospital, where about 2 billion naira is said to have been spent on infrastructure. Ambulances and checks of 50 million naira each were handed over to the bishops in charge of the hospitals. The tour was rounded up at Ozubulu Water Project site, where the water scheme, which was awarded in 2012, has been completed.
We're going to take a detour now to talk about our aviation sector. The high cost of airline operations and the weakness of economic regulations are some of the reasons experts believe has helped lower safety standards in the nation's aviation sector. On our big story tonight, our aviation correspondent, Bukola Joe Ketumbi, takes a look at Nigeria's declining air safety record and possible solutions to stem the...
The crowd and the wreckage of the Associated Airlines crash. The caterpillar at work at the scene of the Dana crash on June 3, 2012 in Lagos. These two air crashes contribute to Nigeria's unimpressive accident statistics, and the record reads: about 25 air crashes in 43 years, 10 crashes in the last 20 years. 2005 to 2006 was the dark year where 4 air crashes consumed 453 people. This dark period brought about certain reforms that ushered in 5.5 years of no accidents. The passage of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority Act, making the body autonomous, and of course, the United States Federal Aviation Administration Category 1 status. With what many describe as an enviable record gone to the dusters, what has gone wrong?
There's a present disconnect between the economic regulation and the safety regulation. I am sure that if the economic regulatory part had been up and doing, someone like Associated would not have its AOC operating as today, because they've not been flying their scheduled flight for over a year, they've not been paying salaries, and some of the people that operated those flights have been owed some salaries too.
The LCA applies the same standards to the major and the fringe airlines. The rules are the same. Because if you are an AOC holder, you are an AOC holder. Airworthiness certification of an airplane, the responsibility is likely domiciled with the operator.
While airlines must take safety seriously, the non-punitive aviation accident incident report system appears faulty.
If that system is really working, if it is not skewed, you won't see people reporting after the crash. And of what's important is all this information that come out after the crash, when you had all the windows to bring this information to the authorities before the crash.
For other experts, the high cost of airline operations, especially the escalating cost of aviation fuel, the need for airline operators to meet revenue targets, and the absence of a maintenance, repair and overhaul facility contributes to low safety standards.
That is a very large chunk of what is now affecting our domestic airline, whereby they have to carry their aircraft outside the country for major maintenance.
Where challenges exist, solutions must come, and this time, our passengers suggest a system change.
I think there needs to be a total overhaul of the sector. I think government should partner with a private to see exactly where we need to go from here.
We need to lower the cost of airline operation, and that is by having a maintenance facility in this country.
With all of this, the International Air Transport Association, IATA, insists that African countries can greatly improve their safety if they implement the 5 initiatives of the Abuja Declaration 2012, which includes the establishment of an independent and sufficiently funded civil aviation authority, as well as accident prevention measures focused on runway safety and loss of control. Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.